I think that the amount of people today that feel lonely is higher than ever. Do you ever just feel lonely but not want to talk to anybody? It's like this weird concept of being social and wanting to connect with other people. It just sounds so good, but then the thought of it is actually better than it is. It's just the idea of forming a connection that sounds so amazing, but realistically, the odds of it happening are pretty slim. How many times do you get geared up with the boys? You know, you're ready to go out, you're pumped, you're excited, you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna talk to so many girls tonight, or we're gonna make some friends tonight, and then the amount of times you check the weather app is substantially higher than the amount of people that you talk to. So, you know, pull up the calculator a few times and call it a night. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think you need to have hope. You need to have these expectations, and not like high expectations of putting it on a pedestal, like, oh, it has to be this way, but just like having hope that it's going to be fun, or that someday it'll be a good time, right? Because if you don't have that, then you're kind of screwed, honestly. Because sometimes it's better to look back and be like, oh my gosh, you know, you're looking back with the boys, you're reflecting, you're like, wow, remember every time we went out, we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. We're going to talk to so many girls and whatever. And then every time it doesn't happen, you know, it's fun to look back on it because you're talking it up, right? You're like, ooh, we're going to do this, and that. It's like you're thinking what you'd do if you won the lottery, right? People love to be like, you know, once it's up to a couple billion, you're like, oh, what could I do with all this money? And it's fun to just think of what it'd be like if it happened, right? And sometimes the build-up is more exciting than the actual destination, right? It's about the journey, not the destination, right? That's pretty cliche, but in all honesty, you know, checking the weather app is hilarious. Like, you're talking to somebody and you see your boy in the corner looking at the weather. That's peak male interaction right there. And, you know, I just think there's so much pressure now to perform or to be a certain way or to be perceived a certain way, where it makes it hard to connect with somebody else. You know, everybody mostly, you know, if you're in your mid-20s, everybody's kind of got their group already. And it's almost like a game of chicken, especially when you first start talking to somebody, whether it be male or female. You know, if you're trying to even just make friends, it's like a game of chicken to see who kind of caves first in the social norm category, if that makes sense. It's like, who's willing to be weird first? Because nobody wants to be weird, right? You don't want to be the weird guy. And like, I'd call myself kind of a weird lad, you know, if you know what I'm saying. Not in the sense of like I'm a weirdo, but like, you know, I like the spice of life, you know. I like to have a good time, be a little goofy, but it's like I can just tell people aren't being real. And I'm sure that's part of the equation of all the loneliness going on right now, especially with social media. And it's weird. It's a weird time. And I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but I think you just know. If you're listening to this, you know, and there's a reason why you clicked on this is because you feel it too, or at some point you have. And I feel like I am kind of in this boat right now where I am craving human connection, but I can't seem to get it from, I guess, the sources around me. It doesn't help that I work from home and that I only leave the house to go to the gym and the grocery store. So, you know, if you're in that boat too, you know how it is. But I just have this craving to like just feel somebody on their soul level, you know? I want to be inside them spiritually. Like, I want our minds to be raw dogging. That's what I want. I want somebody to raw dog my mind. Okay, moving on. Next point. I think as males, it's pretty important to feel like you're needed by somebody else. And not in like a weird way, but like, I think that's just like a core principle of being a male, is feeling like you have value to give to somebody. And I'm not saying you don't find yourself valuable. I'm just saying somebody else views you as valuable, that you can do something for them. You know, it's funny because I feel like right now, if I feel my phone go off, I'm about 90% sure I know who it is. You know, I haven't texted anybody that's non-business related new in like so long, but that's besides the point. You know, if you feel me, let me know. My last piece of advice is just to keep having hope and have gratitude for what you already have, and be grateful and look into the future and visualize it being a nice sunset. You know, sail off into the distance and having your mind raw dogged. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this made you a little less lonely. See you guys later. Peace.